back up. They're going that way. They're going that way, guys. You guys gotta back up.
Easy work. I heard him say, I'm easy work. If I was easy work, you would take all that money that he's offering you.
Yesterday, boxing fans were taken aback when two of the sport's biggest stars, Terence Crawford and Gervonta Tank Davis, found themselves at the center of an unexpected encounter. What started as a war of words online quickly spilled into the real world, leaving fans wondering if this rivalry could evolve into something more. The chaos began when Crawford was making his way back from the prestigious Ring Magazine Awards in London. Meanwhile, Davis, who had been away from his training camp, was in a meeting outside of the United States. It was as if fate decided to intervene, bringing the two champions face to face and setting the stage for a potential clash. It all started when Davis spotted Crawford and, instead of minding his business, approached the undisputed world welterweight champion. Davis confronted Crawford, questioning the reasons behind the online feud that had erupted between them just days earlier.
I mean, you came up from 35, right?
He ain't fighting no real guys at 47.
So, okay. What about everyone's talking about Errol fighting?
That Chan, you know he going to sleep.
I already know. I already know
he ain't got no Chan.
I already know he is.
He said no Chan.
Crawford, seemingly unbothered by the exchange, responded briefly and then walked away. However, Tank wasn't ready to let it go. He continued shouting at Crawford as his team intervened to separate the two. From that moment, it was clear that the tension between Crawford and Davis was far from over. With both men known for their sharp tongues and explosive performances in the ring, fans began speculating about what might come next. Could we see a boxing match between these two, or would the feud escalate into something even bigger? The story didn't end with this chance meeting. The drama actually began much earlier, stemming from an incident at the Ring Magazine Awards, which took place in London that weekend. The event gathered some of boxing's biggest names, but one notable absentee was none other than Gervonta Davis. Despite his undefeated record and 28 knockouts in 30 fights, Davis was not invited, and it didn't sit well with him. In fact, Davis took to social media to express his displeasure. In his now-deleted posts, Tank vented his frustration, claiming that the organizers were favoring certain individuals. He even took aim at Eddie Hearn, the well-known boxing promoter, calling him a little rat. This anger didn't go unnoticed, and it was Crawford who decided to mock Davis, which led to an online exchange full of insults and barbs.
Question for you, Tank. At 147, how does a fight with you and Terence Crawford look?
Damn. 147?
Man, everybody say, what they'll do, but Tank is in his weight class for a reason, and I don't see him come up to 147 to face me no time soon.
Awesome. Appreciate it, Tank.
Gave a little prediction on the fight, talked about Errol has a metal shield and you have a glass shield, talked about the punch resistance. What do you think of Tank's assessment, man?
Crawford, seizing the opportunity to poke fun at Davis, posted a response mocking Tank for not being invited to the gala. He referred to how he himself had been left out of events before, but had crashed the party once he was finally invited. The post was accompanied by laughing emojis, clearly teasing Davis for feeling slighted. Davis's response was equally heated. He deleted his posts, but not before some publications had already captured them. Tank slammed the Ring Magazine event, accusing the organizers of favoring certain fighters over others. In one of his posts, he also criticized Sheikh Turki Alik, who's associated with the Ring Magazine, for not understanding boxing. This battle of words continued until Tuesday, with both fighters exchanging insults back and forth. This digital feud reached its peak when Davis bragged about his financial success, claiming that he made more money than Crawford. Crawford, never one to back down, responded with his own message, claiming that Davis wasn't as smart with his money as he thought. Crawford also suggested that Tank wasn't chasing greatness, but rather making money by doing what was necessary.
But Crawford, on the other hand, I don't see nobody around that's gonna beat Bud unless it's somebody way bigger than him. But don't sleep on the fact that
Terence Crawford, Canelo situation. Do you think that's a fight where they could get to a weight that makes sense? Do you think that the weight would affect Terence Crawford?
I mean, Canelo's the king. Whatever he say, you know what I'm saying?
You know, so no knock to Tank, but there's definitely levels. You know, and if he come up to 147.
But it's a good fight. I like to see that fight, the outcome of it, you know what I'm saying? And then watching Canelo been making some good moves, you know, as far as fights and whatnot, you know?
147 for him, that's a big money.
That's a big fight, yeah.
It's a big money fight, you know? Yeah.
Those spins.
But then what? Everybody gonna...
The rivalry went beyond boxing skills. It was about egos, pride, and the business of the sport. For some, this exchange was surprising. Davis, who had previously announced plans to retire in 2025, seemed to be engaged in a battle that wasn't about the sport itself, but about recognition and respect. Crawford, on the other hand, had other plans. After his win against Errol Spence Jr., he set his sights on an even bigger challenge, Saul Canelo Alvarez. While many believed that Crawford was going to fight Canelo soon, the talk of a showdown with Davis seemed to keep creeping back into the conversation. Despite being 3 weight divisions apart, these two fighters share a history in the same weight classes. Crawford started his career at lightweight, and Davis currently holds a world title in that division. But while Davis is active in the lightweight and super lightweight divisions, Crawford has moved up to welterweight and even recently made his debut at 154 pounds. This size difference makes a fight between the two an interesting proposition. Davis, with his explosive power, has claimed that he could knock Crawford out, even at a higher weight, but Crawford isn't intimidated. He's confident in his ability to dominate the 147-pound division, a weight class that Davis hasn't ventured into. When asked about a potential fight with Tank, Crawford dismissed the idea, stating that Tank was in his own weight class for a reason and wasn't likely to challenge him at 147 pounds. There's a reason why these two champions haven't fought, and it's not just about weight. Crawford has set his eyes on other big names like Canelo Alvarez, who could be his next opponent. The talk around this potential fight has fans excited, especially after a recent meeting between Crawford and Canelo's team in London. It seems that both camps are finally closing in on a deal for a showdown that could take place later this year or early in 2025. But, of course, Gervonta Davis isn't one to be overlooked. He has inserted himself into the conversation, even though his focus is currently on upcoming fights like the one against Lamont Roach Jr. in March. Fans have been vocal about their desire to see Crawford and Davis clash, but whether that happens or not remains uncertain. For now, all we can do is sit back and wait to see how this thrilling drama unfolds.